Good morning. Saturday morning. I hope you all are doing great out there, but since it's Saturday, you know what I'm going to say. Worship tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock at the Unit Church of Christ building. Love to see you there. You know, when I look at my life over the last 67 years, the greatest blessing in my life is my family. I have 4 grandchildren, wonderful grandchildren. I have 3 children that I'm very proud of. I have a wife, a beautiful loving wife that I've had for 42 years. It'll be 43 years this September the 15th. And you can add 7.5 years to that because our first date was on May the 28th, 1971. Kenny and I have known each other for a long time. And it's been a beautiful relationship. I can't say that it has gone without some quarrels, some disagreements, some issues, but it's been a beautiful relationship. I think she's had to put up with more than I did, but that's just the way it is. I look at Solomon in Proverbs 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere through there, in several of those chapters. Solomon talks about a nagging or a quarrelsome wife. At one point he says, living with a quarrelsome wife is like living with a drippy roof. Another place he says it's better to live on the corner of a roof than with a quarrelsome wife. Or it's better to live in the desert than to live with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. I don't know exactly how many wives Solomon had, and I don't know how many of them were quarrelsome. But apparently he had a lot of issues for some reason. I want to read just a real quick verse here, though, from Proverbs chapter 26, a couple of chapters later. The writer says, as charcoal goes to embers, and as wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. No matter who it is, a quarrelsome person creates strife, creates stress, adds to the friction within a relationship. Nobody enjoys quarreling. As I've grown older, I tend to just turn away from people that all they want to do is argue and walk off. Maybe that's a little rude. I don't care. But quarreling is an issue, and to say that I've gone through 43 years of marriage without ever quarreling, just not true. Kitty and I have quarreled. We've had disagreements. We've had other issues. But love has always taken us through that. This morning I want to read a scripture from James chapter 4. It's in a paragraph that my Bible entitles, Submit Yourselves to God. But it talks about quarrels, and it talks about fighting, and it talks about where they come from. You know, I could come home from work, and I always enjoyed a long commute because I could crank the radio up and detox from a lot of the issues that went on during my workday before I walked into the house. That didn't always work. I could be sitting there working on something at home, and somebody would come up to me and interrupt me, and I would snap at them, because I wanted to be concentrated on what I was doing. Did you hear my words there? I wanted. Or they would come up and ask me a question that was really stupid. And my response to that may have been almost the same as calling them stupid for asking that kind of question. How could I be so mean? But it wasn't what I wanted at that time. What we want gets in the way of a lot of things. I want you to listen to what James has to say about that. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You want something, but you don't get it. You kill and covet, but you cannot have what you want. You quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. And when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. That's the same thing as saying that because you can spend what you get on what you want. Our wants get in the way of so many things. James tells us that we quarrel and have issues in all of our relationships because of the wants and desires that battle within us. Think about that. And be safe. Stay well out there.